Hi, I'm Jay-Z from San Francisco, and we're building Matrix, a democratized esports brand. So esports is an extremely quickly growing market, but it has a large problem. Fan spend is much lower than in other sports. The reason for this is a lack of engagement. Traditional sports get the benefit of having in-person tribalism. We deeply connect with the sport teams that we live near. However, esports doesn't get this because the teams are remote. So we replace location-based tribalism with ownership-based tribalism. Matrix is an esports brand where our fans can purchase a share that allows them to receive dividends and vote on various decisions. In other words, they're literally owning the brand. This makes people more engaged. You're experiencing this right now with the voting under this live stream. Without the voting mechanism, you're just listening to me talk, which is way less engaging. So here are some examples of things they can vote on. We've been letting people vote on tournament rules and new teams. Eventually, we'll be hosting this with crypto tools, but right now we're just prototyping with Typeform. So we see Matrix as a combination of three consumer trends. One is ownership and trading, seen through platforms like Robinhood. Another is content and lifestyle focused esport brands like 100 Thieves. And then we finally see it through Supreme, which is commoditized culture and allows people to purchase pieces of culture and trade it. So the combination of these three trends creates Matrix. We've had really good traction so far. We've seen an 11x spectator increase in tournaments and a 19x participant increase through voting. We also have over 200% month-over-month growth, and our content creators reach over 100,000 people. Matrix isn't just an esports brand. We're bringing in a new area of consumption. Consumers no longer want to passively consume the entertainment. Legacy media is dead, right? No one uses QB. Netflix says that Fortnite is a bigger competitor than HBO. People want to be an active participant and creator in their own entertainment. We can see this through something like TikTok taking over the world. There's a postmodernist idea known as the culture industry, which says that our culture is being mass manufactured to support homogeneity and appeal to the lowest common denominator. However, the culture industry is dying. We're tired of corporations creating what they think we want. Ironically, we want to break out of the matrix that they've created for us. So at our matrix, we allow you to do that by owning your own entertainment. We're currently raising $1 to $1.5 million in seed money to scale up. If you're interested in joining the round or just want to learn more, hit the follow button and enter the matrix with us.
Great. A couple of questions. So, how are the fans finding you guys today? You mentioned that you guys are growing 20% a month over
Yeah.
month. Phenomenal. And what is their first kind of like aha moment? Like, this is it. Like, I want to do this more.
Yeah, so the main way they're finding us right now is either through the teams we run. So they'll be watching the games we play in, so Call of Duty Mobile or PUBG Mobile, or through the tournaments that we host, which they want to play in. And then the moment that makes them want to join is for the tournaments, they like being able to choose the rules because then they can experience the game how they want to play it. And it's more fair that way. And for the teams, they like the ability to have ownership and feel that they're like really part of this.
So the just so that I make sure that I understood you guys correctly. So these are the fans coming in, check out your website, or and then actually choose to buy a piece of the team metrics, or are they buying a piece of the player themselves?
They'll be buying a piece of the team itself, so the entire brand.
I see. And then how do you then keep the players retained within the team?
Yeah, so one of the ways is just traditional sports mechanism, like have a good working environment and everything. One thing we found that was useful in recruiting teams is that, players, is that players really like the aspect of this being community owned because they see that as being more ethical and more open than how teams are traditionally run.
I see. And tell me a little bit about the how do you plan to build this into a sustainable, enduring business? And just to provide a little bit of context, I was the first professional gamer that was backed by Samsung long back in the days. I was Chris number one Unreal Tournament player, so I've kind of been exposed from the player side a little bit. So how do you? And a lot of the esports teams have struggled finding that kind of the I don't say product market fit, but more like financial sustainability. So like, help me understand a little bit about the business model from the each, I guess, stakeholders.
Yeah, so like our entire plan is built around how do we make more money from our fans? And what we see as the solution is this ownership mechanism. So traditional esport teams don't make money because the fans aren't engaged with them. They're not loyal. They're watching for specific players or for the game. They're not watching because they like the team. So with ownership, they now like the team and they're connected with the team, and they're way more likely to purchase our merchandise or look at our sponsorship material, which raises our sponsor value a lot. And then we also plan to take a transaction fee every time they vote as an additional stream of income from there.
So you mentioned a couple of things, whether it be merchandise or sponsorship, things like that. Like, where do you see most of your revenue coming from? Is that merchandise or?
Yeah, that's a good question. Initially, we think it's gonna be like traditional sports where it's all gonna come from sponsorship and merchandise. But at some point, we think with a large enough fan base, that's gonna start shifting over to transaction fees and different actions they take and getting money from there.
Got it. And currently, you guys are, let's say, a single fund / team. Do you envision going this to multi-team, multi-platform on your platform?
Yeah, 100%. Like the plan is to pick up more teams once we raise seed fund. We have plans to, and we're in talks to pick up a few more teams, more content creators. And then in a few years, the overarching plan is to start moving into different verticals like the music industry. And we can continue using this voting mechanism, crowd governance system there.
Got it. Makes sense. I guess one kind of final question. So you mentioned like players, or this whole philosophy is around democratization. So I'm assuming the players are kind of spread out. They're not necessarily co-located in a single location. So is it correct to assume that these players will be all over the world joining all different kind of teams?
Yeah, like we currently run a team in Vietnam and then we run a team in North America. So we're really looking at being fully remote. The teams itself will be grouped in one place because they have to live together for the internet and everything. But yeah, as far as where we choose, it's global.
Great. I have roses and thorns. Roses something positive. I do admire the growth rate. I like this model because as a former player myself, I see myself being engaged much better in this way rather than being part of one corporate team where I have are more treated as a resource. So that's definitely more positive. And I do think this is the future. Kind of the thorn side of things is I would definitely focus on the getting double down on the model with how do you keep the players retained, how do you keep them motivated, how do you actually get them more value from engaging with your platform rather than some other flashy brand they might do. So because it's a fan base platform, so you should absolutely get the best players out there to work with your platform instead of being part of some other big brands. So that'd be my only kind of thorn / risk there. But this is exciting.
Cool. Thank you.